A bunch of information involving Lorcana, Set 8, Set 9, and the future, as well as information on worlds and a bunch others. Let me go over the recent Lorcana livestream with you guys, give my 2 cents on everything that was revealed, and dive in deep. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm TheXploder, and boy, is this a fun time to be a fan of Lorcana. Bunch of news to go over, bunch of fun stuff to talk about. Let's dive in. You're going to get my reactions from the stream, but it's not going to be my natural reactions, and I've got to explain why before we dive in. Mostly because there were technical issues. I originally recorded my initial impressions and reactions with guys from my locals, and we were going to make this big podcast-style video out of it all for you guys to enjoy. Sadly, for some strange reason, my entire recording setup balked the entire thing, so it's all broken. I can't repair it, and I'm very sorry about that. So this is going to have to do in place, but bear in mind, I'm going to be working on bits for the future. The next time we do a big reveal stream like this, when I have people from the locals on, I'll have something better set up, ready to go for you guys to enjoy, and should be more thrilling videos in the future, but hopefully you're still thrilled by what I have in store for you today. Regardless, shout out to my guys of the locals. I feel like I let you guys down, but we've had a chat about it, and you guys have been so lovely anyway. But let's get right into the news! Originally, I wasn't going to be talking about the reprints, and originally I thought, yeah, reprints, we know they're going to happen, but I need to display my disappointment at something, and I mean this in the healthiest of ways. It's just criticism, it's nothing else. So, with how reprints are going to be working in the game, effectively, you will have a reprinted card that's used for Winnie the Pooh that's on screen for the moment, and if it shows up in a set from set 9 up until set 12, it's still legally usable in Core Constructed, and will of course be openly legal in Infinity Constructed. Absolutely fine. It's not that I have a problem with. What I have a problem with is that we're getting these reprinted cards, and outside of maybe getting them in epic form, which is the new rarity where they're borderless, have a more fuller piece of artwork and a lovely bit of foiling. They look great, by the way, not shaming on that one. Outside of that, they're just the same artworks. And I'm slightly disappointed by that. Because, I mean, Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard has been in the game since set 1. And we can't give it a new revitalized artwork just to make it stand out. And maybe I can understand it from like a cost perspective, but you have some amazing artists, and I'm sure an artist will gladly step up and go, let's do your variation on Winnie the Pooh Honey Wizard. We know we're getting a Honey Wizard, like really fancy enchanted card, enchanted promo, whatever it is, and that card looks beautiful, do not get me wrong, but the fact that some of these standard art reprints are just getting bog standard artwork that we've already seen from set 1, it just irks me the wrong way, and hopefully they'll work on this in the future. I'm just saying, slight disappointment. And there it is. There it is. As I've said, let me pause it here. So the video will never be able to do it justice. I love the fact we're getting this card. It isn't enchanted, so it's not an enchanted promo, it's not a set promo or anything like that. It is an enchanted in the Fabled set. And you know what? Gorgeous card. I will fight tooth and nail to get it just for the sake of collecting. It's beautiful. I love the artwork. Shout out to Carlos Ruiz, who has made this artwork. Now, I'm not saying that with the critiques I made earlier that everything should be on this level, because I get it. Enchanted cards should stand out. They should be different. That's the point. All I'm saying, alt arts exist. There's a reason why Sol Ring in Magic the Gathering has like tons of different artsy versions of itself. Just saying, let's move on. I will applause and I will be exceptionally happy. I can't tell you how happy I am. Goofy Movie is one of my favorite movies from Disney's lineup. I love Max, I love Goofy in that movie, I love Powerline and his whole vibe, I love the songs, I love the characters, the storyline in general. This means we can get the Leaning Tower of Cheezer. The amount of things that you can do with this movie alone is golden. It's the 30th anniversary of the movie, this is beautiful artwork, and from what I'm assuming, from the artwork, this could potentially be the enchanted version of Eye to Eye, a song card. That would be amazing. It would be great to see. This is probably my most sought after franchise once Fabled comes out, bearing in mind there are other franchise announcements in this stream which make me go absolutely insane. But my god, so happy about Goofy Movie, just need to express it. So what do I think about epic rarity? We dabbled into this earlier on with my earlier critiques, and if you don't understand fully, and I highly recommend watching the stream for yourself while it's still up on Twitch, hopefully it gets uploaded to YouTube at this point, I don't know. Effectively, epic cards are between legendary and enchanted, so they are rarer than legendary, but not as rare as enchanted, so remember that. And effectively, they feature old art, so this is going to be the reprinted cards exclusively, from what I'm getting, are going to be epic rare. They are the artwork from the original set, but they're expanded artworks that have no border. So they are borderless, full art cards from the original set, and on top of that, they have a very unique foiling to themselves. They have a new, unique, epic logo to themselves. I'm happy with it. I think it's a great thing for collectors. I think collectors are going to go mad to want to get more product. I hope this means that there are more products going to be issued, created, because we don't want a copy of what happened with the first chapter. Where the first chapter came out, there wasn't enough product to go around, and then effectively, because there wasn't enough product to go around, a lot of those set 1 cards are really, really hard to find, or more so, exceptionally expensive on the secondary market, which is a big red flag when you have these very meta-driven cards like Maleficent Dragon, like with Rapunzel, just to name 2 off the top of my head, that are very expensive because they're just impossible to get. But if they're going to be involved with a reprint as well, and if Elsa has anything to say about it, I'm going to look forward to epic rarity. I think epic rarity is going to add a fun little factor when it comes to pack opening around the table. Fun times. Iconic is interesting. So me and the guys at my locals have done the maths, and effectively iconics are very, very rare cards. You can see at the bottom of this Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince, which looks gorgeous, by the way. Shout out to Nicola Saviori, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Gorgeous artwork. Mwah, molto bene, get a promotion. Genuinely, it looks great. So iconics right at the end of the set. So we're being led to believe that there's 204 cards in Fabled in general, and you can tell because it's out of 204. This is number 242. And from what we can understand running the numbers, there are only going to be 2 iconic cards in the entire Fabled set. And iconics are going to be rarer than enchanteds. So they're going to be much more sought after, much harder to find. And there's only going to be 2. And those 2, from what I'm led to believe, are going to be the Mickey Mouse from the Big Fabled artwork and the Minnie Mouse from the Big Fabled artwork. A little bit upset. Not with the idea of iconics. I think I'm perfectly happy with that. That's not a problem. The only thing I'm upset by, you reveal a Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince card and you blow out the effect and the lore cost, even though it's kind of obvious, it quests for 1 lore. Now, if you've blurred the effect because the effect is a new mechanic or a new keyword, I perfectly understand and I have 0 complaints. I get it. Even then, I completely get not revealing it because you don't want to reveal too much of Fabled when we do want to reveal more of Reign of Jafar because we want to get through set 8 first before we focus too much on set 9. I get it. But I am kind of hurt that you show us an iconic card and you don't show us the effect of this Brave Little Prince. I mean, what's the significance of it? Unless it is a new mechanic that you don't want to drop this early, I don't get it, personally. But I love the artwork, love the idea of it. No problem with iconic in general. Just a little bit devastated with the card reveal. As much as it's amazing art, I want to also see the effect that goes with it. Just saying. And yes, the set championship card is Maleficent Monstrous Dragon from set 1. So this proves that if you have Maleficent Dragon, you can run her in set 9. Fantastic. Great removal. I think that's a great card to reprint. Do not get me wrong. Beautiful artwork, by the way. Loving this artwork for the top level promo version that you can get. Fantastic. No complaints about that either. Shout out to Christian Romero. Beautiful work on the artwork. Mini complaint again. And this is only a really minor one because I see this from two different angles. On the positive side of having Maleficent Monstrous Dragon as your promo for the Fabled Set Championships, the pro is that even if you just enter the store championship, you now get a copy of the promo card. So this means even if you go through the entirety of set 1, the entirety of set 9, and you don't manage to pull a copy of Maleficent Monstrous Dragon in any form, at least you now know that you can participate at your Fabled Store Championship. You can even just participate and drop out if you're a little bit anxious about playing at the events, because I know people's mindsets for go into it, and you can just get the Maleficent promo, and that's brilliant. I think having access to a pretty good and a pretty damn fantastic meta relevant card at a store championship event is brilliant. What a great way to get people to boost their level of competitive availability by giving them a card that is competitively viable. Brilliant idea. The sad time that I have with it, why can't it be an original card getting this treatment? And again, I think my woes of this not being a new Fabled card having the promo treatment is just because I want to see something new get the treatment, right? I want to see a card exclusive to Fabled get that treatment rather than a reprint, but I understand why this reprint is getting done. And I think in my overall opinions, especially now that my initial reactions have subsided and I can look at this a little bit more analytically, I'm more looking forward to this now because of how good it's going to be for players that want or desire meta-relevant cards that you can just get by participating at a store championship. I think it's a great invitation for more players to consider becoming more competitively viable. I think it's a great way and a great incentive for those that have maybe been put off about going to a store championship because they're worried their deck's not great here, a little bit quirky there, to give you a card that, hey, even if you have one copy of this one copy is really freaking good. Don't sleep on this Maleficent. Now, I'm going to pause you there, Ryan, because I want to do my analysis bit. So, remember what Ryan just said, ladies and gents. Set rotation will work on a bi-yearly basis. So, effectively, or annual basis is what Ryan is basically saying. I should words, okay? Words. Anyway, so, Fabled comes out. That'll be at the end of August this year for local game stores, September for general stores. When that comes out, first chapter, Rise of the Floodborn, Into the Inklands, Ursula's Return, gone from core constructed. That's a lot of cards and a lot of shake-ups. That includes things like Maleficent Dragon's getting a reprint, so forget about that. Rapunzel currently until we know of reprints, and that's the big thing as well. These are gone until they get reprinted, if they get reprinted in this block, so bear that in mind. So some of the ones off the top of my head: Rapunzel's gone, Leatherstorm Rage On, gone, Fishbone Quill, gone, Ursula the Singing Emerald Ursula, gone. What are some other ones off the top of my head that I could get? The Mims and Merlins, gone, apart from Mim Elephant. I think Mim Elephant is still viable because I believe she came out in Shimmering Skies. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And those are just some off the top of my head. If I start guessing which ones off the top of my head, we're going to be here for a while, and I don't want that to happen. And yes, I'm very much looking forward to this now. I know some people are going to say, I guess I just have to throw away a bunch of cards. Look, Ryan is going to talk about Infinity format, and Infinity format is a very interesting format I want to learn more about personally, because it's a secondary format that is going to let you use all your cards in your regular capacities as normal. So if you do want to run every card that you have access to, you still can, but that will be under the Infinity format. If you want to stay with Core Constructed, which is their main tier of competitive level play, then you're going to have to say goodbye to 4 sets at the beginning of a new year. So this is bearing in mind, Fabled begins And when we have access to Fabled, we will have access to Shimmering Skies, Azurite Sea, Arcasia's Island, Reign of Jafar, and Fabled. So that's 5 sets already you'll have access to. And by the end of the year, you'll have access to 8 sets like we will do when Reign of Jafar comes out. Literally at the end of this month I'm recording this video, which is May. Will this hurt the game? Hard to tell. I'm pretty certain it won't. If anything, it challenges you to mix things up, try different card combinations, mix up your strategies. It shakes up the meta. I already believe that some colors are going to be a little bit more dominant right off of the bat, pending on what cards we get in Reign of Jafar and what cards we get in Fabled, so do bear that in mind. But it's a very interesting thing. I'm very much looking forward to set rotation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is something I'm really happy about. I'm really happy that there's going to be a secondary format that's going to be supported by Ravensburger for those who just want access to all their cards. The question is whether local game stores are really going to do anything involving Infinity format. That's where I get a bit worried. Having these at major tournaments like your DLCs and hopefully more Ravensburger supported events in the future would be brilliant, and I have zero complaints with that. Having Infinity format available to those that have a little bit of cards here, a little bit of cards there, or people that are like me that want to build decks with everything that they have at their disposal to create some crazy plays. Awesome. I also hope Infinity format comes with its own ban list, by the way, which I'm sure has been confirmed that it will have its own ban list away from Khorne Constructed if we get to a ban list, because, you know, you don't want to ban a ton of cards, you don't want to ruin everyone's day, but sometimes you need to ban some things that are just way too good. Simple as that, I get it. I'm very much looking forward to Infinity format. I'm curious about the support because just from talking to a manager at my local game store, there is a similar format, I believe, in the Pokemon TCG that allows you to use basically any cards that have ever come out. And there's been zero support of that from my local game store. Not to say that my local game store wouldn't run an event on that level, because they would. And they've openly said, we've tried putting those events on. But the player base isn't there to demand it, and in the end of the day, a local game store that's going to be doing these events, hopefully with prize support, which is a big incentive for us to go, not just making friends. I love the guys over at the locals. Shout out to the local lot if you're watching this video. Hello. I love my locals. I love the people I play with, and I'd go there for the vibes and the people anyway. But prize support helps, and even if you have prize support for Infinity format, doing a format where you can basically use anything you want, it's hard when, if that's going to be seen as the secondary format, people are going to go for their primary format because they know that's the one everyone's going to be watching, everyone's going to be attending, everyone's going to be competing for. You know, it's very hard to judge. And it's hard to judge against other card games because, like I said, you've got that with Pokemon, but on the other side you have a fantastic scene when it comes to Magic the Gathering, when you have Standard, you have Modern, you have Legacy, you have Pioneer, you have friggin' all these other crazy formats that are either supported or not supported by WotC in general. But this is early days, and this is very much early day anticipations of how things could go. End of the day, I'm chuffed to see Infinity format. Think it's a great idea. Time to bring this up. So it was in the leaks, and we now have it confirmed yet again. Worlds, June 28th, June 29th, Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. Fantastic. Before you watch this video and think, oh, I'm going to go there and watch Worlds, it's going to be a closed event. Things have changed. The event is going to be a closed event, so unless you are invited, unless you have basically your buy into that tournament, do not go to Disneyland Resort on those dates thinking that you are going to be on a live stream or that you're going to see these huge top level players play at that top level. There's going to be something there, I'm sure, that is going to incentivize people to get into Lorcana. They might run a core constructed tournament on the side. They could potentially run an Infinity tournament on the side as their introduction to Infinity on that world stage, which would be very good. But don't go there with a plan of participating or with a plan of viewing the event, because we just don't have that information yet. Don't bombard people online about this either. Just respect the fact that they've had to make a decision, and it is in stone. Things will happen at Disney World Resort during the time of Worlds. I am very much sure, so keep an eye out for more info. But for right now, we have a confirmed date. Just want to bring that up. This is the other thing I'm hyped about. So it was pretty much confirmed leading up to this point, but yes, Worlds promo, a whole new world. Now, we don't have a lot of information as to how the general audience will be able to get their hands on this copy of A Whole New World, and it's key to keep in mind, this is a unique alt art of Whole New World, but look at that bottom left-hand corner, EN1. It is not being reprinted in Fabled. This will not be Fabled legal, and judging by when sets are going to be released by the time Worlds come across, this entire block of sets may not have a reprinted version of A Whole New World, which is huge hypothetical news based on a card reveal, I know, but it's kind of something to bear in mind when you're thinking of reprints, so keep that in mind if you are watching this video and keeping track of what I'm saying. So, with that to one side, it's been alluded to that we can get a copy of A Whole New World through watch parties, which would be a very interesting way of doing things. I think that's a fun way of doing things. Again, another reason to get people together that may be fans of the game, casual fans of the game, new to the game, families all together to watch these big players play a big game on a big level in a way that we have not seen so far. The only thing is, if you're going to do these as a part of watch parties, you've got to make the event stand out. You've got to make the event the biggest event that you want people to fight for spots for within the next year. If it looks a bit lackluster, looks a bit amateur hour, people are going to criticize the event, including me even, but all hypothetical. All criticisms based on things we don't know. What we do know, we have a date for Worlds, we have a confirmed Worlds promo, I believe we have hints as to how you're going to be able to get a copy of it, and it's a bit of a shocker, but A Whole New World may not be printed within that first new block of Lorcana from Fabled up until set 12. Scary! I want to pause this as well as a sign of saying, hey look, we're talking about Worlds, let's show your commentary team that's going to be on Twitch for Worlds. Rebecca at Rebecca Quests makes brilliant content, I love her to bits. JD. I was introduced to JD in this live stream. I've got to say, sir, if you stumble upon this video in any capacity, I love your vibes. I love your vibes. I love the way that you present yourself. I love everything that you bring to the table. And I loved what you said in the pre-show. I know I'm not covering the whole stream, including the pre-show, and I'm not going to be covering much from the post-show, sadly, in this video. But I want to shout out JD, because my god, sir, your vibes were on point, your approach were on point. Like, you were funny, you were engaging, you were interactive. What you also said, because there was a part of the pre-show where someone was asking about content creation, getting into it, what you should focus on. What you said when you should focus on what you're passionate about and what you love, and that will come through. And it's a hard time anyway, but that's the best way to approach it. I love you for that. Genuinely mean it. No homo, I love you for that. Because that's what I preach in my content and try to preach in my content. I've been trying to preach it. I mean, I've been working on content now for 20 years. And Lorcana's been a part of my content journey at least for the last 1 to 2 years. And it's a big deal. And I'm going to be rebranding a bunch of myself to mostly be focusing on Lorcana from now on, because I love the game so much. And the content just flows so easily. So huge shout to JD. I'm giving you a bunch of flowers because genuinely, sir, you're amazing. Which is awesome. We've got Brandon, B-Squared24. Haven't seen a lot of your content, sir, but I'm sure you come across as great, loving the bucket hat. Liam from the Illumateers. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love the Illuminateers. I think they're a fantastic group of guys. Love the content from Liam. Fantastic. And of course, Baker, the Lorcana villain. I haven't met you face to face, sir, and hopefully at some point in the future at a UK-based event, I will be able to meet you firsthand and shake your hand. You have genuinely been an inspiration to me when it comes to making my own Lorcana content. You come across so eloquently and so brilliantly in your videos. You have a great mind for the game, a great commentary voice for the game as well. I love this lineup. I'm looking forward to what they bring to the table with their commentary throughout the events of Worlds, and I can highly recommend checking out Worlds just for these people involved. Huge shout out for everybody. Congratulations for being picked on Worlds. Looking forward to see how that all goes, and I hope at the end of the day you have a fantastic time when it comes along. I'm pausing the video here when we're talking about the heist, which is the next Illuminator's quest for Reign of Jafar, because I'm hyped for this. I think the idea of a heist is a really interesting one. I like that we're getting a proper box. I know that was a criticism from the first one, from Ursula's Return, but I like that we're getting a proper box, a proper mat, like a proper cardboard foldable mat for Jafar's bits. And we get unique deck boxes for player 1, player 2, and Jafar's deck as well in the box. I think that's brilliant. You have excelled yourself. You have learned from the mistakes. Even then, I'm not even going to say they're mistakes from the first one. The first one was more like, hey, look, we have this idea. Let's see how it goes. Now you've established that the idea works, but we just need to rebrand it, maybe just rebox it a little bit differently, especially since this is a game you can pack up and go. This is like a mini board game in itself. You're learning that. It's brilliant to see. Very happy. Very, very happy to see it. The only criticism I kind of have, when this was presented on the live stream, we saw the box, not a lot of cards, and I know you don't want to show a lot of cards from set 8 because a lot of that's going to be dib-dabbed over the weeks leading up to the release. A lot of that's also going to be in the hands of creators that are out there as well. Zero complaints about that. But we know the Jafar deck specifically is going to have very special cards in there that only work for this game. Just like how they did with Ursula's deck in Ursula Returns. You cannot use that in general play. It is exclusively just for that game. Surely you could show a couple of them, even if it's just some of the generic things. Surely you could have shown some of them just on the stream itself. So, bit devastated on that, but very happy. Just want to shout that out. This looks like a fantastic thing for casual players and for people that just want to play a co-op game instead of a big game itself. Brilliant. I can highly recommend the Ursula's Return one, and this one looks like a high recommendation as well. Okay, I paused this at a bad time, which it kind of makes the host looks like he's disappointed that Jafar's got another card, but I know that's not the point. But Jafar, High Sultan of Lorcana, we're getting some cards. I want to analyze them and give my 2 cents as we come up. 5 cost uninkable 4/4 for free lore. He is Amethyst and Steel with Dark Power. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. If an illusion character is discarded this way, you may play that character for free. I think this is a brilliant effect for illusions to make illusions stand out a heck of a lot more. I love the artwork. I love the quest for free, which means you just want to quest with him every single time to proc off the ability. It steals technique as well of drawing a card, discarding a card. It works alongside other mechanics within the deck anyway, which is awesome. Love it, love it, love it. Brilliant card. I'm really looking forward to building illusions when Reign of Jafar comes out. He does have some illusions. I'm very happy to see that these are cards adapted into illusions, which is awesome. Magic Carpet, Phantom Rug, the 3 cost inkable 2/4 for 2. Vanish, which is the effect where if you're targeted by an action, they are banished. So if you're targeted by any action by your opponent, might not even be a damaging action, it could just be a forced exertion effect, but it has to be an action. Remember that. They're just immediately banished, and the player who owns the character with Vanish has control over that effect or not. So if you want to take the effect, I don't think it's mandatory, No, it is mandatory effect, so never mind. But you basically will immediately banish them without taking damage, without other effects triggering. You just get the immediate banish, but it has to be an action. And Spectral Force, your other illusion characters gain Challenger +1. I think it's just a net worth fantastic card. I love this card. I think it works great with every other card in the set. Challenger +1, some people may say is a bit weak, but the fact you're giving it to an entire lineup of cards is pretty great. Magic Carpet's not the only new illusion coming into the deck. I already know there is another one. There is... that's going to be shown in just a moment. There is also the Abu illusion that I've done in short form, which you should see on my YouTube channel soon. And that's pretty cool also. So no, I just think this Magic Carpet is really good. Okay, so we have another illusion, our 1-drop illusion, which is always fantastic to see. If you're gonna run a deck, have a decent 1-drop, and this is pretty decent. It is Palace Guard, Spectral Sentry, 1-cost Inkable 1/4 for 1 with Vanish. I think it's perfectly fine. Procs perfectly well with Magic Carpet. Magic Carpet comes down on turn 3. All of your Palace Guards are now a 2/4 when they're attacking. I know it's only 2, but 2 is better than 1. Remember that. Pretty darn cool. I'm loving the Scarab artwork in the background, so could we see Big Boy Scarab illusion in the deck as well? Could be happening. I really like the card. I think it's going to help the deck out a lot. Brand new Vanellope Von Schweetz card, pretty much confirmed. Love the artwork. Love me some Wreck-It Ralph. It's a 2-cost Inkable 3/1 for 1. Vanellope Von Schweetz, spunky speedster with evasive. Will you be running this card in races? Probably not. And the main reason why is because racers want to use Speedway, the starting line and finish line, as one of your main aggro tactics. You're not going to be doing that with Vanellope. This Vanellope will exclusively be going out on your board with evasive and then immediately going to bop. I think in Ruby Amethyst with the Peter Pan that gives your evasive characters rush, and the other one that gives your rush characters evasive. More so the evasive that gives your characters rush. This card would be brilliant in that Ruby Amethyst deck. A 2-drop evasive that can gain rush and immediately bop into another evasive just to get rid of it, and that's its whole purpose. I can dig it. I can really dig it. I mean, heck, if you have the excess ink, do that. Move Vanellope into like the library, bop into something, sack off the Vanellope, and then all of a sudden you get a card draw out of it. There are combos you can do with this card, but sadly the combos you can do with this card are probably better off suited outside of a racer deck. Not to say it's impossible, she does synergize really well with the new King Candy, the new Calhoun, the new Fix It Felix from Arcasia, that definitely trigger off of characters that are either banished or are in your discard pile ready to come back. So not ruling her off from the deck, but I personally feel she's going to work way better in Ruby Amethyst than she's going to work in Ruby Amber Speedsters. Just saying. Brand new Jasmine card. I actually really like the artwork here. 4-cost Inkable 2/5 for 1. Shift 2, Jasmine, Steady Strategist. Always planning. When this character quests, look for the top 3 cards of your deck. You may reveal an ally character card, put it into your hand, and the rest of the bottom of your deck in any order. So it activates on questing, which I think is brilliant. A great searching effect that allows you to get to the allies that you need to trigger off your other ally plays. I'm loving this whole mechanic around allies in general, and it being exclusive to Sapphire and Steel. You could maybe dabble a little bit outside of those color schemes with some cheeky ally tech here or there if they are monocolor, but Sapphire and Steel allies, very much looking forward to more support. I rate this Rapunzel. I rate this Rapunzel quite highly. I think she'll actually do quite well. It's a 5-cost Inkable 2/5 for 2 Rapunzel the High Climber. Evasive with Wrapped Up. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. It has the Mother Gothel effect, but instead of targeting all characters, it's only targeting one. But the fact that she has protection and evasive, the fact that she could still quest for 2, she has a 2/5 stat block, which is perfectly reasonable, judging by what her effect is. I really like this Rapunzel. Put her in a tempo deck, she is going to love Emerald, Amethyst, Tempo, 2 pieces, or any other Tempo decks would just splash in Emerald for that little bit of play as well. I really love her. I think she's great. Mwah. Molto bene. Loving, loving, loving it. Oh, this might be one of the most gorgeous enchanted cards I've ever seen. This may just be, like, outside of Honey Wizard for obvious reasons, I'm loving everything about this enchanted artwork. The golden trim, the Spectral Jafar, which I hope is in the game. I hope Spectral Jafar is a card and is an illusion to help with some illusion tech. If not, maybe just an ally. I'd be happy with that alone. Beautiful piece of artwork. I think Viv Tanner needs so many flowers. This may just be one of the most gorgeous pieces of artwork in the entire game, yet alone this entire set. I love it too much. I just need to preach it. Bamboozle! Bambizuda! Yes! The child! The true child of Disney. Bambi is in the game as of Reign of Jafar. I was maybe thinking Bambi was going to come in Fabled, in all honesty, but you know what? Glad to see her. Her? Bambi's a boy. Remember that. Bambi is a good boy, princely boy. So we've got 3 Bambi cards to look at here. First off, Bambi Prince of a Forest, so his teenage Bambi. 2 cost inkable 3/2 for 1. Vanilla, simple, straightforward, adds in Prince mechanics into Amethyst, and I don't think Amethyst have a lot of that, so pretty darn cool. Looking forward to that. Nice little vanilla to have. Flower. I am loving Flower for sealed and for pack rush events. I think Flower would do amazingly good, but let's dive in. 3 cost inkable 3/3 for 1. Flower, Shy Skunk, and looking for friends. Whenever you play another character, you look for the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or bottom of your deck. It helps with cycling. You don't need too many flowers in your deck if you want to just search things from the top of your deck and micromanage your next card pools. I think this card would just do really well in sealed and pack rush because you play it on turn 3. Every turn afterwards, when you just play out a character, check the top. Is it something I want? No, put it at the bottom. If it is, keep it at the top. Love it. Nice, simple and easy effect, and I think in the sealed formats this effect thrives more. And last but not least, we have my boy, the Chad, Thumper, the young bunny. 2 cost inkable 0/3 for 1. You exert him, chosen character gets +3 attack this turn. +3 attack on an exertion is huge. That's a big attack bonus. And he does come out a turn earlier than, let's say, Merlin Crab would. And Merlin Crab gives you Challenger +3 when he enters and leaves. Hard to tell if this Thumper's going to see any major play. Again, in sealed formats, pack rush formats, quirky deck formats, I'm really loving this Thumper. Especially since you could still use Maximus tech, you could still use Snuggly Duckling tech right now. And I think it's an odd splash card to give one of your cards in Ruby or anything outside of Ruby Amethyst just that extra 3 to bump over a location, bump over a tougher enemy. This bumper could see play. Maybe not as a full set of 4, maybe as a splash tech 2 of, but you know what? I'm loving this starting lineup. Pretty darn cool. Looking forward to some more Bambi. Maybe Bambi's mum. Not in that way. I'm not that cruel. Shush. Moving on. Here we go. I'm happy to see more Pluto. I love Pluto. He is the bestest boy. Anyway, 6 cost inkable. Pluto, Tried and True. A 2/7 request for 2. And Happy Helper. While this character has no damage, he gets +2 attack and gain support. I love that effect. That in itself will probably make Pluto one of the best, if not the best support character in the entire game. And I've been critical about support in the past, and I still will be. I think it is still one of the weaker keywords in the game in general. This will make support a little bit more viable, especially if you can get +4 attack onto something and quest for 2. I think that's perfectly fine. Works very well with the 4-drop Pluto as well, which is for bodyguard. that also has a similar effect where it has 4 attack when it has no health, no damage on it, and then goes down to only one attack when it does have damage on it in any capacity. Put it in that Amber Steel deck, get some heals on. I think this works really well with... what's the card? I need to remind myself. Yes, it works really well with this card from Arcasia. Penny, heal 2 and give it resist +1. Beautiful. There's some great synergy here. And with great synergy, it gets me very interested in building a deck. So, fair play. I'm loving this Pluto. Pull the lever, Clunk! Love it. We finally know what pull the lever is. This is your store promo as well, which is awesome. It is simple action card in Amethyst and Emerald. 3 cost inkable action, which is draw 2 cards, or each opponent chooses and discards a card. It's an action as well, so it can trigger off of certain cards that want you to play actions over action songs. Bearing in mind it's kinda outside of the colour scheme for that, because that's more Emerald Steel with the Pirates. This is more Amethyst Emerald, which is going a more tempo route, which is definitely seeing a lot more support in Reign of Jafar, which I'm very much happy for. I'm liking this card. Don't know how big its relevancy is going to be, but the fact that it's also a promo makes it very easy to get. So keep an eye out, get your copies of it. I'm going to try running it and see how it goes versus Friends on the other side, and if we don't get a reprint of Friends, this could be the Friends of the other side equivalent, but you got to remember, it's exclusive for Amethyst and Emerald decks. Daring Defender Minnie Mouse. There's something about this card I really love, and Speedway will actually love this card as well. Let's look at what she does. It's a 4-cost inkable 0/8 for 1 with Bodyguard and True Valor. This character gets +1 attack for each 1 damage on her. Teeth and Ambitions loves this mini to make her bigger. Raceway loves this mini to make her bigger. Ratigan's Party will fall in love with this character because even if she only has 1 damage on her, park her up at Ratigan's Party. Ratigan's Party will give you 2 lore at the start of each of one of your turns because she has a damage on her. You can micromanage the damage because it's in Amber. Loving everything about this card. I was a bit hesitant. As to whether I would actually like this card or not, but no, I really like this Minnie Mouse. I genuinely do. I think this mini has potential in an Amber Ruby deck moving forward, and you're damn right, I'm going to be the one to build it. Woo! New Lady card. I saw this in the leaks, but it was a little bit covered up, so we now have the full look of the card. Beautiful artwork again, and it's a 1-cost inkable 0/3 for 1. Amber Emerald exclusive, so remember that for building the deck. Pack of her own, so whenever you play a character, this character gets +1. And while this character has 3 attack or more, she gets +2 lore. This card's actually crazy. This card is insane. This will be played in the deck that is going around called Churner Dogs. If you have not heard about Churner Dogs, check it out and let me know if you want me to do an analysis video on the Churner Dogs deck, because it's super fun to go against, super fun to play. It's different as well, and seeing support for that deck going into Reign of Jafar also is awesome. You're probably going to see a lot more of these for the store set championships for Reign of Jafar. The effect is so easy to pull off. You may be thinking, oh, but you need to play 2 characters. Make her a 3 of in a deck that has, oh, look what it has. It has support. You're going to be easily able to do that. In Churner Dogs, you have access to Churnabog. Churnabog, which can come out for free if you have so many cards in your discard and shovel them back into your deck. So guess what? With Churnabog coming out for free, play 1 more character. I think this lady will easily get you that lore. Aggro players will fall in love with this card. And I'm falling in love with it too. I've said what is possibly the best card art that I've seen in the entire game, and that's for Jasmine Enchanted. I think this may be one of my favourite arts in the entire set. It's giving me Prince of Persia vibes. It's giving me Jace vibes from Magic the Gathering. I don't know whether that was the inspiration for Marcel Berg. Shout out to Marcel, beautiful artwork. I really like the card as well. and this is definitely going to help with ally plays, so let's check him out. 6 cost Inkball, 1/9 for 1, Aladdin, Vigilant Guard in Sapphire and Steel, Bodyguard, and Safe Passage. Whenever one of your ally characters quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from this character. Now, I believed in my leak video I thought it said from that character. I was gravely wrong. Thank you for those that corrected me in the comments of that video. It is this character. So every time an allied character quests, Aladdin can get his health back, making him a really big bodyguard threat that just does not move from the board. I know there's direct removal. I can see you players in the chat going, oh, but Medusa, but Brawl, but Sisu. I get you. But if they don't have direct removal, or if they fail to draw into that direct removal, and you have this bad boy Aladdin out protecting your allies, pretty sweet card. Not going to be a 4 of. I don't see him as a 4 of, but there's a 2 of splash. Could happen. And if you thought Lady was best doggo, I match that with best doggo. I actually think this patch is cracked for 101 Dalmatians and puppy decks in general. So let's have a look. 1 cost Uninkable 02, patch, playful pup in Amber and Sapphire, quest for 1 lore, has ward, which is huge on a 1-drop, and puppy barking. While you have another puppy character in play, this character gets +1 lore. This now means even if you just have 2 patches out on the board, those 2 patches quest for 2 lore each. It'll be very easy to get puppies onto the board. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the reveal of patch with the idea that, oh, but when set rotation comes in, we're going to lose out on the 99 puppies. I get you, but look at the puppies you have access to as of Arcasia. You have a lot of puppies in there that actually have decent effects on them at varying different costs with good effects. This now makes them more viable. It makes patch definitely viable. It makes the Pongo brilliantly viable. And I'm definitely looking forward to puppies as of Reign of Jafar. Whether the puppies get continued support after that point, I don't know. Hard ask, but it's a fantastic card and I highly recommend playing it if you are a puppy player going into next set. So bear in mind, Q4 2025 does not necessarily mean it will come out in 2025. It could potentially come out the early stages of 2026. It's a bit of a hard pull because Fabled comes out at the end of August or beginning of September, which will mean if you give it about 3 months, that is Christmas time. That is December, which could be a bit of a red flag when it comes to release. And around that time, I don't know whether you would release a full-on set or whether you'd wait until January. Personally, I'd wait until January for at least LGS release, but we'll see how things go. I'm gonna be a little bit iffy if this is going to be released in December. December's going to be a hard month anyway with a lot of stuff coming out. Christmas, do I even need to say anything else? It's a hard month, and if you release it in December, I think quite a lot of players are going to be a bit miffed that they're not going to be able to get as much product as they want because of it being Christmas time. So hopefully delayed until January because it's in Q4. We'll see. But this doesn't necessarily guarantee we're going to get Pixar stuff in these sets. I don't think we could potentially see Pixar until we get into year 4 of Lorcana itself, but yet again we shall see. 2026 was Pixar year. Could be that we get Pixar cards as early as set 11 or set 12, but it would make more sense if they waited till set 13 personally. Confirmed, right? Confirmed. So Whispers in the Well will feature Black Cauldron. Makes me very happy to finally see some Black Cauldron love. Not so much for a main cast. I'm mostly looking forward to the Black Cauldron for the Horned King. Horned King is one of my favorite villains just because of his aesthetics, his voice. Oh, so cool. So very happy we're getting Black Cauldron. Double happy for Horned King. That's the one that surprised me the most. I was not expecting gargoyles at all. I thought, if anything, if we were going to go with a niche franchise, maybe like one of the more old school movies, I was even preaching the idea of doing Ichabod and Mr. Toad, because that would be pretty cool. Maybe Pete's Dragon, so we could get some more dragon tech. Gargoyles? Are you kidding me? One of my favorite shows growing up as a kid in Lorcana? I'm going insane. Whispers in the Well is already looking hype because of that. I'm hyped for Fable because of Goof Troop. Sorry, not even Goof Troop, Goofy movie. Does this mean we can get Goof Troop cards and Quack Pack cards? I'm still hopeful for that. Needless to say, Gargoyles confirmed, Black Cauldron confirmed. It's gonna be a good time, but my wallet's gonna ache. Talk about the one franchise I also was not expecting, at least this early. 2026, we will get Darkwing Duck. I am hyped for this. I am in love with this. I love Darkwing. More Duck Boys, more villains. There's some really awesome villains in Darkwing Duck as well. This could then extend into something happening with Magicka Dispel. It's such an interesting vibe and such an interesting time. I can't wait. Whispers in the Well. Now, this is bearing in mind, Whispers in the Well is confirmed to have Black Cauldron and Gargoyles. That does not mean Whispers in the Well will have Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck is just 2026 in general, so I would more so predict him for maybe set 11, set 12 even, or maybe 11 and 12. Yet to see, but I'm so happy for Darkwing. 2 claps. And that's all I've got to talk about from the stream. I wasn't going to cover too much about the pre-show or post-show, so if I've missed anything in the post-show, such as unique reveals or anything, I apologise. That is not the purpose of this video. We are mostly tackling the important information that came from the mainstream. Now, before I close here, getting hyped about what has been revealed, I want to end this video talking about criticisms of the presentation in general and how I think Ravensburger can improve their presentations in the future, coming from a guy that has made content now for 20 years. Of course, when I say this, I mean this with criticisms in mind. I do not mean this in any attacking or malicious formats, so bear that in mind. First things first. The pre-show was great. It was really awesome chilling out with JD, community manager, all that jazz. But didn't feel like there was a lot of structure there. It was a lot of off-the-top action. It didn't feel like we went in with the intention of, hey, let's crack open some packs while we're here, see if we get an Enchanted live on stream. There was no, hey, let's do a pack rush before the mainstream begins. There was nothing to get engaged with. There was no Q&A with the streamer because, like, I had never seen JD before until that stream. I wanted to get to know JD some more, the community manager some more, the host of the presentation some more, and I didn't get any of that. There was no structure of using it as a Q&A platform so we could all get introduced to each other. That could be an idea for the future. The idea for Pack Rush as well is a good one. A proper pack opening session with proper camera setups would have been good also. Also a free camera setup. What am I talking about? A free microphone setup may have been better, or a boom microphone setup may have been better for the 3 of you sat together, because audio was a little bit fluctuating between the lot of you. I know audio issues are the biggest pain in the butt. I know firsthand I hate audio issues with a passion. But like I said, a little bit of criticism for the future. Even the presentation itself felt odd with its structuring. I mean, you start off with a lot of talk about cats that didn't lead into a cat character being revealed, and this would have been the perfect time to say, here's a look at a new Raja coming out in the Reign of Jafar, because Raja is intertwined with Aladdin. It would have been a great segue, and you could have used that, and that would have been fun, but the cat conversations could have waited to the post-show, or could have been in the pre-show. Just saying. As well as that, the structure of the show itself, so you went in straight into set 9 stuff and also straight into worlds related stuff, and you left all of the set 8 stuff until last, which kind of irked me a little bit. I know after the set 8 stuff we did get the reveal of the name of set 10, and we did get some hints of the franchises that are coming in set 10 and onward. That's great. That's a great place to put it at the end. Not complaining. But at least in my eyes, you could have at least started with 8, went into 9, and finished with 10 and beyond. Because then it would have made sense in a numbering perspective as well. And the fact that we want to get hyped for what's coming out right now, the next set of Lorcana, Reign of Jafar, over Fabled. I know there's a lot of changes coming in because of Fabled, but Fabled can wait. Fabled can have a bigger bit of the airtime, but after we've spoken about set 8, because set 8 is kind of important. I would have preferred it if you had set 8, Worlds, because Worlds is just as important as set 8, Fabled, the changes that are going to come into play as a result of Fabled, and then anything involving set 10 onward after that point, and that's how you can finish off. But needless to say, I still really enjoyed the show. I still enjoyed the presentation of it. I just think the structuring for me is a major criticism, just to see what you can do. But even then, not to sully the show, structuring, maybe a little bit more of a firmer idea of what you have content-wise in your presentation, more so for pre-show would be more appreciated. But like I said, criticisms, and it's good to get solid criticism, because how else are you going to improve? Trust me, I mean it wholeheartedly. But with all that being said and done, all the things looked at, and all the hype being spread, what do you think now about what has been revealed coming soon for Lorcana? Let me know what you're most hyped about over in the comments section, or hit me up over on my social platforms all over the shop that you can check in the description below. And whilst you're down there, consider subscribing, liking the video, sharing with your other Lorcana buddies to help me and the channel out. God, I was holding that burp in. That was so badly timed. And with all that being done, I will be seeing you on the next Lorcana video. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay awesome, but most importantly, stay explosive. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. So we already know what's coming in for set 8, 9. We have the name for set 10. We know Darkwing's coming in. Where's the House of Mouse? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?